We're also getting into a conversation about ADHD, the 4 letters in the alphabet that stand out. We're not going to make fun of ADHD today, maybe a little bit, but it's because that's part of the fun. Did you know, John, in the NFL, they actually draft guys with high butts? At the end of the day, we're trying to build a business here. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you help us build our business. He's on a mission to add as many followers as possible to the Mornings in the Lab page because we are trying to build a business here. We're the only live morning show that helps you get your day started, that helps you feel accountable, helps you be your best self, give you tips and tricks, nutrition, wellness, business, entrepreneurship.
You need that little pop the butt, squat the chin, get up and run strong. We're here.
If we take the morning show to the other side of the world, we're actually going to be ahead of everybody else over here. Does anybody still care about the Olympics? Hey, does anybody want a hot, fresh grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup?
It says less example, man.
It says less, not no.
That's just demonstrating to everyone that you make a choice to do something, you can absolutely do it. I love that.
Driven by a passion for solving complex problems and turning ideas into reality. She's a lifelong learner just by the fact that she decided to pivot from one point to the other point, which just suggests she's very much a lifelong learner.
In January of this year, I decided to make a total big jump and to turn my life upside down and get active on LinkedIn and make a complete career switch into news. I ended up spending like all my free time playing with HTML and getting deeper into the web development side of things. And so I discovered a passion very much later in life. I love technology, and I decided to take a plunge into a boot camp, which is very intensive and a wonderful experience. And I did that for accountability, right? Because it was very structured. It was 3 nights a week, 3.5-hour long lectures after my day job for 6 months. And it was a lot, but it was amazing. It takes a certain kind of person to sit at a computer and stare at lines of code and solve problems and learn these languages.
Knowing that being really uncomfortable leads to a bigger, better place.
I switched to coding at 58 with an LOL on the end there. There you go. Hey, Marty, you joined never young, never too old, right? Every time we say yes to a mindless activity is a no to your future success. When you say yes to a distraction, you're ultimately saying no to growth. Protect your time and don't be afraid to say no. How am I living my best self? Do I say yes to everything? Do I say no to some things?
You can't stay on track because you want to continue to party, and it's okay to have fun, obviously. Enjoy your life, but sometimes you're going to have to say no.
I've been lifting weights for 33 years. You're 31. So I was, you do the math. Shit. Use that word no, sling that word no around, no other. Worst comes to worst, you say no to the wrong situation. They're going to realize that you're disciplined and focused on what you're doing.
This is the situation. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. Please don't try and overstep that line with me, because I don't want to get like you just mentioned, people pleasing.
When I hear no, I think of my ex-wives. Robert keeps his focus every day on saying yes.
What are you trying to accomplish, right? And how important is that to you? What's it going to take to achieve that for yourself?
Maybe it's less ADHD and more just, I'm always just looking everywhere else, just to keep myself entertained and stimulated. Embrace chaos for creativity. Embrace all of that, and magic will happen.
When else are you going to try to break into a new industry? Like, when is that going to happen in your life? Like, you're young, you're in a good position.
I love chaos. I'm almost nervous if I don't have any chaos in my life, because you're either getting through an obstacle or an obstacle's on the way. New levels bring new devils. That's how I look at it. It's just part of life, part of being a man, being a woman, and just embrace it and run towards it. Don't run away from it.
The louder the chaos gets, the more you have time to schedule downtimes, to catch your breath, process the chaos, and learn from it. Without that, where do you find time to grow?
Physical activity can reduce hyperactivity and impulsiveness. Try yoga or martial arts. Long-term brain health exercise lowers the risk of cognitive decline. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise weekly.
At the end of the day, we put our pants on the same way, we go pee in the same toilet. The difference is that this wisdom allows us to say a few things that we've learned along the way. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but we're putting on a show and we're trying to build a business. Do you get bored a lot? And these are the things I sometimes wonder, because we quickly go, oh, they have ADHD.
So one thing that I think is interesting too is how I think the awareness of stuff like this feels so new.
Yes.
It doesn't mean ADHD is new. It means the awareness, right, of what to look for, how to adapt, how people deal with this, and how it affects us on a day-to-day basis.
It doesn't mean that it didn't happen, or it doesn't mean that it didn't exist. And just now that we have the science and knowledge to talk more about it, diagnose it, understand it, and manage it.
There's nearly 250,000 people waiting to get on the list, to get on medication, the employment, addictions, the justice system at the moment with prisoners, robbers, murderers are all going to be starting having an ADHD assessment as soon as they come through. I've got like an ADHD. I don't care I'm managing it and I'm helping everyone else. And that's what I'm doing.
John Anderson always speaks about make tomorrow's decisions today so you don't end up making a lazy decision tomorrow or the easy decision tomorrow.
With neurodivergent, you're taking speed, you're taking amphetamines to boost, to just rejig that part of the brain. And it's a serious drug. They only give you 30 days of it because you could do something and it's game over.
The water's on, the bed's half open, Lauren's in the kitchen brushing her teeth, the coffee maker's going, the back door's open, and I'm like, baby, I know. You have taught me how to observe it, embrace it, learn from it.
I've been the lowest of lows and wanting to kill myself because of gambling addiction and stuff like that. And yeah, 5 years on and that's like clean now.
Honestly, it's really not an exaggeration to say I am very good at focusing. And that's actually part of why I like coding, because I can just block everything out and just truly get into it for a long period. I cultivate an environment where I'm able to focus. And if I don't have that, I'm not okay.
Drive me as a little guy, for sure. And you know what? The way that I was able to cope with all this was systems. It was routine. It was like I was like a miniature fat Rain Man. That disability was my biggest blessing. I just learned to manage it with systems, habits, patterns. Thank God that I have. Because had I not learned to develop these systems and habits and a way of life, I would not have achieved what I achieved today. For those of you that do have a challenge, look yourself in the mirror and say, thank God, because you're not like everyone else. And as you learn to manage your challenge, you're going to excel. You're going to move ahead of everyone else. And it's a blessing, absolute blessing. So don't
embrace it. Don't use it as a crutch. Just embrace it. Run, like I mentioned earlier, run towards the fire, run towards the chaos, and you look at it as a plus.
It's mad how it just goes off on one and it's viral. Then I'm addicted to like Ghostbusters, and then I won't be bothered 2 weeks later, and then I'm suddenly into Lego, and then suddenly I'm into Mario.
I gotta tell you, man, your vulnerability is exceptional. Like, I know, but that's what attracts you. That's what attracts people to leaders.
My go list is a list of items that are all productive that I could go to when I have one of those moments where, oh God, what am I gonna do?
I'm going to suspect that the pornography industry benefits much from bored men with ADHD. You go to Costco to spend $20 and 20 turns into $200 because you get distracted by everything through the whole store. Some would say that creativity, again, is the key to also unleashing and unblocking ADHD. Allow the creativity to flow, Thomas. Get out of the structure. Just allow it to flow manically. Put the goal lists aside.
I let my ADHD do the talking when it comes to my images or my videos or being creative. That's what spurs me on.
When I first started the live, ADHD was not part of the pillars of conversation, but as we keep learning and speaking more about it, Melissa, it seems, that we're going to keep weaving this topic into the conversation.
The more we have these conversations, exactly like you just said, the more that we're open and transparent with each other and can educate others, give someone a new perspective to how people's minds work and how we all deal with things differently, it does make the world a better place.
The systems, patterns, and parts of life put together to overcome this stuff is going to separate you from the people who didn't have to do it. Don't play the victim. Look yourself in the mirror and say, damn it, I am lucky. Now let's turn this into a strength.
It's nice to see positive role models like yourself to continue. Yeah, like I do if you want to see your stuff. I thought I was on it and you're all over it.
I'm trying to create a safe space for conversations like this. If I can make you feel safe to be you, myself, Marty, and John, we've succeeded with what we're trying to do. And then create a show on that experience. Marty and Woodhams go to Costco, and then we're going to create a whole series on that. I'm serious. When Thomas moved me there, I had some goosebumps and I had some emotion in my eyes, because when somebody says to you, John and Marty, that I feel like I can be myself here,
I just look at, I have another great day of my life to live.
If you're racing towards something you're looking to retire from, you might want to make a different decision. We started the show on Monday giving you permission to fail. We ended the show today talking about habits, talking about ADHD, and talking about creating your best self.